Hello my friends, it's Joshua Haynes. For today's vlog, I'm actually focused on answering all of your specific questions this past week. I posted on social media platform, Ask Me Anything flyer related to photography, videography, how I do YouTube, my personal background, my life. Pretty much any question that you may have had, I encourage you to ask. And now I'm actually gonna focus this video on answering these questions. So let's start with our first question. All right, so the first question is asking me, how old were you when you first showed interest in photography or videography? For me, I actually showed interest through church, being a part of the audio and video team. The church I attended had the live streaming, and I was a cameraman working on the weekends for videography, and sometimes I would substitute for the soundboard. So I really learned the foundational skills through church, and now I'm doing photography as well as videography with my personal YouTube page. So I was about 11 or 12 when I first showed interest in videography. The next question I have is, what is one thing that you wish you knew about photography before you got so invested? One thing I wish I knew is just the fact that it's a big investment when you are buying photography gear. So if it's something that you're interested in doing and you're not really sure, I always encourage everyone to, start small. And then if it's something that the equipment can no longer meet the need that they needed to do, build from there. But never just start big and spend a lot of money on equipment, especially when you're learning and you're not sure if you want to stay with it. So start small until you need new equipment, then you keep on growing and building. The next question is, any advice for an up-and-coming YouTuber? I'm still an up-and-coming YouTuber, so I'm still learning as I go. But some advice that I would give is first to know what your niche is. What are you comfortable in talking about? What are you passionate in? Are you joining YouTube for the right reasons? Are you only looking at the financial gain? Or are you actually interested in entertaining people or just educating people? Just know your goal and why you're doing it. Some more advice that I have is, don't always compare yourself to the best YouTuber out there. They have to start somewhere as well. Get over that first fear that your life isn't as interesting as other people on YouTube, and you'll be surprised by the reactions that people are actually interested in what you post. Be very patient, trust the process, and try to learn as you go. My last advice that I would give is to highly encourage yourself to post content every week. It may not have to be on the same day, like Tech Tuesday for me, but just try to be relevant and current. What inspired you to start Tech Tuesdays? I realize a lot of people ask me for my input before making big purchases. A lot of people ask me the same question at different times, and I was repeating myself to different people. So that really inspired me to make Tech Tuesday videos so that I'm not repeating myself over and over again, but I'm actually building a brand. I'm building my content. So if someone asks me the same question that I answered before, I could just say, hey, I already spoke about that. Check out this link. If you have any questions, just, let me know. So that's what really inspired me to just do Tech Tuesdays. For starting YouTube, I always wanted to document my journey and my life. Being able to make vlogs was just the added bonus for me so that I could actually document my life and look back, months, years later and be like, wow. All right, so the next question is, what inspires you the most in photography? That's actually a good question. For me personally, being able to document people's joyous occasions, live it with their families, document it, and give it to them so that every time they see the photos, they'll be able to relive those moments. And think about the family that was there, the relatives that was there. It's very special. All right, so the next question is, how has the coronavirus affected your photography business? Currently, the coronavirus hasn't affected our photography business at the moment. We have a lot of upcoming weddings that we have booked for, but they haven't canceled or rescheduled yet. But we are staying hopeful. It might change in the future depending on how serious the coronavirus is. I have a lot of friends who ask me, hey, I have a friend whose wedding is coming up. What should they do in regards to all their vendors? I always like to tell them to look at the terms and agreements for the contract and look for an act of God section. And whatever those terms are is pretty much what it would be in regards to rescheduling based on the coronavirus, or having to just cancel and see what money you get back and refund it. Talk to your vendors, always keep them informed. Let them know, hey, we might have to reschedule our wedding dates due to the coronavirus, so that is no surprise to anyone. Everyone knows what the news is happening and what people are saying and regulations and rules, what to do for large gatherings. So this is not news to them, but just keep them informed and let them know so that there's no surprise, and you can kind of compare dates so that if you do have to reschedule, and no one loses. What are some things that I can do while I'm working from home? For those who are able to actually work from home more often and don't have children, they have more time on their hands. But if you do have a child, I know it's very, very hard and difficult to be able to do other things while working as well as while helping your child learn. You know, it's gonna happen for a while now, so it's something they have to get accustomed to. What I do suggest is to have like a regular schedule for the child, so that they know what time they should wake up, what they should be doing at every hour of the day. And give them breaks as well. They don't have to wake up early in the morning as if they're going to the bus, but you know, just make sure everyone's understanding that, okay, you're gonna be doing this at this time, and there's no surprises. Let's say you don't have a child at the moment, but there's a lot of things you could do. You could catch up on, you know, a daily journal. You can start learning a new language using a lot of different apps. You can also get a new puppy. I mean, some people have more time than others. It's the perfect time to get a puppy. Spend the time right now to train it so that, you know, when you are going back to your job and you're not able to work at home, your puppy will be trained by the time you're, you know, going back to work, or at least starting to know the customs and the habits of what it takes to, you know, be independent and not have to break rules in your home. You can also binge watch some shows that you wanted to catch up on. So depending on what it is that you're interested in doing, you can pick up photography. You could catch up on some previous edits that you need to push out. There's a lot of things you can do depending on what you have to get done and what you're interested in doing. Just use all the resources that you have so that you don't feel bored or tired or don't know what to do with your time. All right, I think that's enough questions for now. Thank you so much for all sharing your questions. I hope I answered it sufficiently, and I hope what I answered helps you in some way, shape, or form. And I also hope you got to know me a little bit more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you're taking the proper precautions to care for yourself, your family, your relatives. Make sure you're washing your hands often. Make sure you're using a lot of sanitizer. Covering your mouth, using your arm, not shaking hands. All these things can help decrease the amount of spread of this virus. We're all in this together. Make the best out of your work from home situation if you're able to work from home. Be positive minded, and you know, just stay updated and try to help one another when you can. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next week. So see you later.